It's your birthday.
It's my birthday today.
I got to do your birthday dance.
Oh, gee, well, keep
and your birthday song. But no, but Jeff,
you don't have to be in your birthday suit.
But that's part of the thing. I got a cake.
No,
but I got to come out of it. I got to bring the cake in.
Okay, listen, this is already off the rails. But I only have one goal for tonight.
What's that?
And we're recording this podcast way later than normal.
Yep.
And I really don't want to have to explain to the police officers.
Oh yeah.
What's going on? Matt Frank is the only person in this world who's ever gotten the cops called on Rage Select.
I forgot about that.
So welcome back, everybody, to a late night. We have an hour and 20 minutes before it's not my birthday anymore.
Oh shit!
And I'm not allowed to do anything that I want anymore.
No. Then I punch you right in the mouth.
Yeah. So we are going to have to go as fast as humanly possible.
Yep.
To get done with the Rage Select podcast right here on Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
I'm Matt.
And Matt.
Yes.
It's been a little while since you've been on the podcast.
It has been.
What have you been up to? You seen anything good?
Oh,
was there
there might have been a particular movie about an ornery lizard.
Oh yeah,
and his estranged relationship with a mammal of some kind, a large humanoid.
I think I heard about that. Was that Rango?
Yes.
Maybe Rango?
It was Rango.
Okay, Rango.
Django Rango. Just carrying
that with the lizard?
The lizard with the little hat. Yeah, I like that. It's a legitimately good movie.
So Godzilla versus Kong.
Yup.
Okay.
This will be your second podcast starting with that, I imagine.
I mean, I think I told you, and I think I might have said it on the podcast a couple weeks back, where I'm just like, I'm kind of about the whole legendary Monsterverse.
Yeah.
Like, I like a lot of the other stuff, and I really can't wait for Singular Point. Like, Singular Point looks like it's Jeff's version of Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm 3 episodes in through illicit means.
Oh.
But Netflix, it's coming out in June on Netflix.
Okay.
And 3 episodes in, it's pretty good. It's intriguing.
Okay.
Characters got to think on their feet to combat threats bigger than them.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when Godzilla shows up, but it's gonna probably get a little crazy.
Hey, spoilers, man.
Oh, you spoilers that Godzilla's gonna show up in an anime called Godzilla Singular Point?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Move that microphone closer to your face. And then tell me what you think about Godzilla versus Kong.
It is a very silly. It is a silly time.
Okay.
It's a silly time with the monkey and the lizard.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain aspects of it where I'm like, must we? Like the whole subplot with the conspiracy theorist guy. Like you could have done something interesting with that, but you didn't. And I really would have liked to have known more about Dr. Sarazawa's son, who's now the pilot of Spoilers. But I thought it was a fun time. I thought Kong is a great main character to carry a film.
Yeah, I thought that it was interesting that I don't know, like up until I saw Godzilla versus Kong, I'm like kind of hardcore. I'm like, you
were not a Kong guy.
I'm a fucking super weeb, man. I'm always talking about the fucking anime that I'm watching. I like the big lizards, got the atomic fire breath. I'm like, what? The fucking monkey wants to fuck some Barbie doll? Like, I don't care about that. But like, I genuinely was rooting for Kong, and then it's like, okay, I guess. I feel like I needed a better reason to root for Godzilla.
Well,
outside of this very abstract, like
he's nature's protector, which I've never liked.
I'm the alpha.
Is the alpha kaiju, which
alpha guy.
People
the head lobster.
People who are not in the Godzilla fandom have a couple of times made the observation to me that Godzilla just seems like a big dick. Like he just seems like kind of a big asshole. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I like about him, is that he's kind of just an asshole, big alpha predator, top dog, kind of going around just getting into fights because that's just what he does. And I prefer that.
I think I like it better when he's like the One Punch Man of the Monsterverse.
You
right?
just like Final Wars.
I do like Final Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I got a soft spot for it too.
Well, I mean, in the other movies, are you rooting for Monster Zero or like
no?
Who are you?
The way it works is it's the lesser of two evils,
right?
But the best Godzilla movies are the ones where he's the bad guy because you're rooting and you're kind of technically supposed to be rooting for Mothra or whoever.
Okay,
but that was the thing. Even in the original King Kong versus Godzilla, Kong was the underdog. He was the lesser of two evils. Godzilla was this juggernaut of destruction. Kong was just a big, dumb, horny, drunk ape that kept getting drunk and falling over.
See, now that you've described it like that, I'm curious, like, why didn't they just take that one episode of Star Trek where Kirk fights the Gorn and just make that into Godzilla versus... That's kind of a Godzilla versus Kong situation.
A little bit.
Big drunk ape fighting a big lizard in the middle of Southern California. The end.
Oh, man.
No?
They can never update the Gorn because it's just, they're perfect the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I like the movie. I think it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun time at the theater.
I'm not just... Yes, and I don't want to spend a billion years because we have a lot this week. But before we move on, I did want to ask, because I feel like a lot of times when you and I have this conversation, I have this question in my mind, which is like, what was the last Godzilla movie that you did not like? Like categorically did not like? Some might say you're a bit of a fan of this large,
sure might be
this lizard man,
this lizard.
Yes, this god of all Zillas.
I might have a penchant for the lizards. I might lean lizard sexual. Let's not take that out of context, but we're gonna. Don't
worry, I'll include it as a ringtone download that people can put on their phone.
That's the thing, is that I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
There are no Godzilla movies that I absolutely despise.
Okay.
There are Godzilla movies I have a low opinion of.
Okay.
Like King of the Monsters, I could tell was made with a lot of love. I just feel like some of the intent is misplaced.
Okay.
I feel like it's a little too indulgent. Whereas you got something like Godzilla 98, where even when I watched that as a kid, I kind of liked it. But as I've grown older, I'm like, but it's also like not really a good movie, and it's kind of made with ill intent. I think it's more accurate to ask you, what was the last kaiju movie I saw that I actively disliked?
Okay.
And that's going to be somewhere between Pacific Rim fucking Uprising and Big Man Japan, which I did not like.
Okay.
I got it. I understood it. But it's like, man, this is a mean, ugly movie that I did not enjoy watching.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And that's it in a nutshell.
There wasn't a family in it for you? There wasn't a family in Big Man Japan?
There wasn't actually there was. Oh. That was one of the things that made it fucking miserable.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, speaking of family.
Let's make the whole family shitty.
We also got a brand new F9 Fast and Furious 9. And you know what? This new trailer did something I didn't think would be humanly possible, which is it made Hobbs and Shaw look like restrained. Now it's not.
No.
Most people haven't watched Hobbs and Shaw, but at the end, like, you know, The Rock goes back to his like Maori ancestors, and they have like a Moana fight on the island.
Moana fight.
I don't know the proper terminology. Where
they're doing the haka and stuff, and
they turn off all the machine guns of the guys, so
which
they
is
can
like,
have,
why would you design them? That's such a stupid thing in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom with a dinosaur. It's controlled by a gun, and maybe just use the gun, asshole.
Yeah, but this looks absolutely. John Cena is.
John Cena's The Rock, not Vin Diesel's brother.
Long lost brother. They don't even look anything alike.
No,
I can't.
It's like Juggernaut and Professor Xavier.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay, maybe they're half brothers, I guess.
Yeah.
This is why I like Godzilla versus Kong, because it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Hollow Earth. Fuck it. Flying cars. Fuck it. Magnets. The magnet shit in this looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, the Fast and the Furious movies have been well off the rails for years now.
I don't think I've seen any since the original, actually.
Did you see the one where Michelle Rodriguez was the bad guy?
No.
Did you see the one where Vin Diesel was the bad guy?
No.
Did you see the one where Charlize Theron came up? Did you see the one where The Rock flexed his arm so hard that the cast broke so that he could have a fist fight with Jason Statham on top of a parking garage?
I gotta watch these movies. I keep thinking, like, I gotta watch these movies because they look legitimately, like, stupid and fun.
Did you know that the character that Helen Mirren is playing is Jason Statham's mobster mother in this movie?
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
Jason Statham's mom?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
You need to get
I
on
need to
this.
get invested in the Fast and Furious lore.
Indeed.
The deep lore. Isn't the Fast and Furious movies, isn't that where Gal Gadot got her start?
I have absolutely no idea.
Maybe it was a different car, drivey, punchy movie.
The Transporter? Yeah, this looks absolutely redonkulous, but then like whoever, if there is there a person in this world who's out there like, hey, Fast and Furious franchise, dial it back a little bit, rein it in, you know?
Yeah, we would have. This is too many magnets and
Right.
exploding parachutes.
And like a car with like space rockets strapped onto it with like two dudes in spacesuits for some
no,
reason.
they're not in spacesuits. They're in like diving bells,
Yeah.
or diving helmets, which I think is ridiculous.
My God.
This looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
And this again. This is why I liked Godzilla versus Kong, because it just was like, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it.
Well,
We're just having fun.
I think yeah, well, I'm not gonna relitigate my feelings about that. I think
I get what you're saying. I get where your perspective is.
no, well, the thing is that this looks patently ridiculous from start to finish, but like, okay, just real briefly,
Yeah, real briefly.
like when I'm watching one of Michel Bay's Transformers movies.
Yeah, his oeuvre.
Yeah. Like when the robots are doing one-liners and punching each other, I'm enjoying myself.
Right.
And then when Shia LaBeouf's face comes up on screen, I stop enjoying myself. So when Millie Bobby Brown's face came up in Godzilla versus Kong, I stopped enjoying myself because it was like, this is really stupid. Like, this makes the hovercraft to the center of the Hollow Earth stuff. I'm like, go back to the Hollow Earth. This is too stupid for me. Go back to the Hollow Earth.
Well, because it's not like I feel like there's a quantum. There's a math word. I'm you know me. I'm a lightweight.
Yeah, Matt's had like a third of a White Claw. So
There's an equation to the stupidity level. You got to hit that sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you, it's the uncanny valley of stupidity. If you hit that uncanny valley, you've gone too far.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, I have no transition from the Uncanny Valley. But we had two big showcase events this week.
And I watched them this time.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm a good podcast boy.
I would say, I tell you what, let's knock out Resident Evil first.
Sure. That's the one people are here for.
I had planned to start with Nintendo because, I mean, quite honestly, I feel like there was we have to go in the order.
Okay.
I have them all set up in the right order.
All right.
Okay. So we'll start with the Nintendo Indie World, which
How many comments were, where's Smash reveal?
well, that's the thing is that you can always look at like the Nintendo Indie World Showcase as of the time we're recording this has 44,000 upvotes and then like 2.6 thousand downvotes
Because it's not.
because it's not Smash.
Right.
Or whatever.
You people.
I downvoted it because it wasn't Bayonetta or Metroid Prime.
Of course.
But that's just me.
The two things you care about when it comes to Nintendo.
Do what I want. Nintendo, do what I want.
Do what Jeff wants.
That's what I want.
No one else.
So I felt like there was a lot of like really good stuff in here. So it started off with this Road 96, which is
Yeah.
really fascinating thing where it's like you're
It's like a choose your own adventure.
yeah, I saw it on the Nintendo store and it's like a first person like you're hitchhiking thing, but then the decisions you make lead you into like different pathways that can go into like crazy different directions. Like some are making friends and some are like robbing the people you're with. And
One's
some
going to
are-
the Hollow Earth. You know, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's supposed to have like a gajillion different like paths that you can go down.
I'm legitimately. I want to try this at least once. He said, still trying to make time to play Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, but it looks really good. And it's got kind of like, kind of a simplistic art style, kind of basic, but it's something that could facilitate. What I really hope is that I really like it when games like this are able to iterate quickly, where like each round is like 40 minutes or an hour or something. So you just like
keep going through it.
You can just keep playing it and playing it and playing it
Yep.
instead of feeling like, well, that took 6 hours. I'm not doing that again.
You don't want to play Nier Automata again?
No, I don't.
No shade. Nier Automata is, as I understand it, a great game. but
You have to play
man,
it like 4 times.
Man,
so.
they had some attractive fucking developers. I'll just say that. Hey, again, like that doesn't mean that isn't. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna thirst after every developer I see.
I wonder where you're going with this. From there, we had Aerial Knights Never Yield.
This looked dope.
Which is apparently a runner game.
It's like a Sonic the Hedgehog game, but like made well.
Well, so have you ever played a runner before? Like Cannabalt or...
I feel like I have, but it was probably so few and far between. I can't remember exactly which one, but I get the general conceit of the game.
Right. It's like, it's like a rhythm game.
Yeah. You got to duck, weave, run, duck, dodge, jump, run.
Yeah. And so there was an old, the Bit Trip franchise went into, they had Bit Trip Runner, which was like the original Bit Trip there was a bunch of them. They were Wii games, and then there was Bit Trip Runner 2, Bit Trip Runner 3, and I really liked those games. In fact, the last Super Meat Boy was a runner. Like you could jump and then go backwards and forwards, but like you couldn't move independently. You were always moving. Like you couldn't stop.
Yeah, sorry, I burped in the microphone.
Oh God! Stop
sorry.
it, Matt.
Sorry, I was not intentional.
You can't drink White Claw if you're gonna burp in my microphone. So yeah, and then I think that one of the best things with runners is the soundtrack, and the soundtrack to this seems just like very good.
Well,
like,
it's clearly like going for a hip hop vibe, and it looks cool. It just looks stylish. It looks cool. It looks like a good way to kill like 20 minutes at a time or whatever, or try to beat your. Looks fun.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. From there, we moved on to Last Stop, which we've already seen before. I don't remember the first time we saw this, but this is the thing where it's like kind of like an adventure game with several different characters that are like connected.
Yeah, this one's real. For me, this is the first time I've seen it. It's real obtuse. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at, other than it being story driven.
I think it's another one of those ones where it's like there are a lot of different ways to make the game go, but I think it looks interesting. Like it's got a very interesting look to it.
Yeah.
This is all that they literally made a point of saying like, oh, we're going to show you stuff from Annapurna Interactive, which I actually really like Annapurna Interactive's games, like the stuff that they put out. I've really enjoyed. And then the second one was this very abstract trailer for Hindsight.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't entirely clear what was going on, but it was kind of like it's hard to describe. Like
it's like are the water droplets part of the mechanic?
Like slowly fading between different things, kind of using the elements of the game world and kind of going into certain things. And the whole thing seems to be like a adventure through memory.
It screams indie darling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like definitely going to find out stuff about a person's troubled past, and we're probably not going to shoot very many ninjas.
No.
Probably not that many
Not
ninjas.
necessarily that everything needs to be about shooting ninjas. It would be nice sometimes, but
for me.
For you it is.
But
it can be.
It can be.
Yeah.
Any game can be about shooting ninjas if you try hard enough, Matt. All right?
Yeah, sure.
You just got to squint really hard.
Yep.
Then you
That's a ninja.
Make a pew-pew noise with your mouth, and then boom, the ninjas. They're dead.
Sure.
From there we saw
lots can be achieved with delusion.
Ollie World.
This is cute.
Which I don't know if you know. Ollie was kind of like a runner almost. It was like a 2D side-scrolling skateboarding game that was divided into like individual segments where you had to complete certain challenges, and there was Ollie 2, and this one's like kind of an open world version of that concept, where even though it's 2D, it's like you can kind of go to different paths. It's like kind of 2.5D.
Yeah. I mean, for the people who this is for, this looks really cool.
Yeah,
I like the weird little characters.
Yeah, I like the slosh tar machine.
Oh, I just got that.
Yeah,
because it's a fish.
Yes.
It kind of has an Adventure Time vibe to it as far as the visuals go.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Kind of cell shaded. It looks a little bit more stylish than the previous Ollie games did, but I think it's interesting because I think that I'm pretty sure that I played Ollie 2 with John Sitton like 4 years ago for like a super awesome video game show or something. So it's been a while since Ollie came out. From there, we found out that a game, The Longing, is coming to Switch.
Which I did not know about this.
Yeah, this is actually a game that's been on the PC for a while. So the whole thing with The Longing is that you are this little shade, and there's like 400 days to wait for like your master to wake up, and then there's just this like whole world of stuff for you to do, but your character walks like really, really slowly. And the whole thing is that like if you want to, you can just wait out the clock.
The 400 days of real time.
Yeah. Oof. Now, for anybody that's actually thinking about doing this, I watched a video on this a while back, and like, there are ways that time gets compressed so that it doesn't actually take 400 days, but it does take time, and you're kind of free in a lot of ways to just do whatever you want. Like, there's not like enemies, you don't have to like keep yourself alive or anything like that. So like some of it is just opening up like passageways and getting stuff and bringing it back to your room to put in there as
you decorate your little room. And
so like this is a screen that we're looking at right now where the shade says, "What a failure. The friendly droplet is helping me out, but filling up the pit will take a few more weeks."
Oh my God.
It's literally like a pit full of water that over cave droplets will fill up high enough for you to get to the other side of after weeks. So
jeez.
I don't know. When I first heard about this game, I thought about putting it on Rage Select, but then I was like, no.
That would be like basically a podcast.
You know what I could do?
What's that?
Is just play The Longing and capture it, and then just put the play behind every podcast. Like
400 days worth of podcasts.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I think this is a really creative conceit. This seems like the sort of thing that like 10 years ago, if it had come out, there would be a lot of gamers who would have really poo-pooed it and been like, that's dumb. This dumb indie crap. And then nowadays it's like, our cup runneth over with weirdly specific games.
Yeah.
So throw it on the pile, but in a good way.
Well, I also think that it makes a lot of sense to that it's on the Switch, right? As opposed to having to sit like in a location.
Right,
like,
you can just take it with you.
Right, like if you played it on the bus every day.
Yeah.
To and from work, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, or what exactly, while you're waiting for shit.
It came out in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So,
all right.
Yeah, not that old.
Never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually out on the Switch.
Yeah, I like it when they do that, when they're like, available today. And I'm like,
Yeah. They're putting There Is No Game Wrong Dimension, which Amanda and I played almost all of, I believe, which is actually a really fun game, and I recommend anybody play it. It's basically like you're playing the game and the game is telling you there isn't a game here, stop playing it. And so the game is fighting you and you have to do puzzles to figure out.
Oh, it's like there's a monster at the end of this book.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole part in the game where like there's like a loading bar and it's not there, so what you have to do is you have to like tip it to one side so that the loading goes all the way.
Yeah.
There's parts where like you have to go into like the options menu to grab icons of like a scissors to use to cut a thing. It's an adventure game.
That is fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a lot of really good voice acting to it and a really, really, really weird ending. But it's actually kind of touching. I actually ended up playing all the way through it.
This is just, I love stuff like this because it reminds me of the days when I would watch extra credits. Not that I don't watch extra credits anymore, but I don't watch extra credits because there's just so fucking much of it. And I remember they used to do their little indie showcases, games you might not have tried. And they would just be like, this game has a weird mechanic.
Yeah.
You may not have tried this one. So here's a game that takes 400 real-time days.
Yeah.
Here's a game that's actively fighting you the entire time. So, yeah.
Yep. There Is No Game Wrong Dimension came out also when the showcase came out. So, yeah. Let's see. From there, we got a full-on new trailer for Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
With some gameplay to it.
I love Mikey's little run.
Boy, does this look like a good version of what it is.
Is this 4-player? Is this local 4-player?
I'd be willing to bet, probably.
Well, I bet, you know what we got to do?
can't.
Got to get the band together.
You gotta. Each one of us uses 2 controllers, and then we play 2 characters each. And
Wow,
then we have 4
I
player.
can't think of something that would go completely to shit faster. No, I'm saying we need to like get like people together. Like,
What do you, I don't understand.
we
that.
need to have like a big live stream of this fucking thing.
You're saying that I need to get more than one person in my house.
I know that's weird.
Okay.
But I'm vaccinated. Morgan's vaccinated. I just really want to play this with a group of people. And hey, maybe it's fucking time.
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
I think most of the people that I know are vaccinated at this point. So
yeah.
I really, what the biggest problem would be, Matt, is finding a system that I have enough controllers for, and making sure I have enough microphones to record.
Oh,
for
that's a
people
good point. Fuck. Maybe I can get my. Maybe I go get my. Fucking what is it called? What the fuck, Matt? I just killed that White Claw. My snowball microphone and just jam it into your computer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. This looks
like a lot of fun.
It looks perfect.
Yep.
It looks perfect.
And I like that it's not April getting kidnapped. It's the cameraman. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. From there, we got another trailer for Chris Tales, which have been eagerly awaiting for the last 2 years.
This looks delightful.
Yep, like really stylized JRPG with like these weird time mechanics. Reminds me a little bit of that. God, what was that one from the Skullgirls developers? Like Invincible or Unbeatable or
Indivisible.
Indivisible. There you
go. Which I started playing and I need to finish.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing really all that new in here, outside of like I wants to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I wants to.
Looks good. I love the art style.
Yep. Let's see. From there, we got this is so weird. It's like a trailer for this kind of 2D side-scrolling kind of Japanese mythology roguelike.
Yeah, kind of a Sekiro, like Sekiro but 2D.
Sort of. Called Getsu Fumaden.
Getsu Fumaden.
Undying Moon. I kind of think this looks a little ugly, personally. Like it's very washed out.
Well, I like it because it's supposed to be going for that ukiyo-e woodblock print style, and that shit is my jam. So I like it.
I might need to see a little bit more of it. I gotta say that, like, I'm starting to get I'm a little tired of roguelike stuff. So I don't know, maybe.
I get that. I mean, that's my problem with it, is that like I was like, oh man, this is really fucking cool, and then I'm like, oh, it's a roguelike. I'm not really a roguelike guy.
Yeah.
I like a game where I can progress forward and maybe have a nice little narrative to frame it.
Yeah.
What a concept.
But who knows? I was kind of it was interesting to me. 2 things. One, that they were showing this so far in advance because it's coming out next year. And 2, did you notice
Oh, I didn't even notice it was fucking Konami.
Yeah.
Konami's making games?
Yeah.
Konami doesn't make games.
Konami doesn't make games. Konami's fucking
Pachinko machine company.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. Did they make games?
From there, we saw this was interesting. This is called Aztec Forgotten Gods, and that's Aztech.
I remember when I realized that, I'm like, okay, that's fun.
Which kind of looks like a generic third-person kind of action game, but it's got a lot of like Aztec kind of iconography and stuff. So
Quetzalcoatl.
It's kind of hard to say whether I don't know. It seems like the sort of thing where like what I'm seeing is definitely a very curated chunk of the game. I'd like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, me too, because it looks like something that would be up my alley. But I guess we'll see.
Yep. Let's see. From there, we got a trailer for Skull. It's
like a Korean RPG. No, not an RPG. It's like a Korean roguelike.
Yes, Skull the Hero Slayer, which is it reminds me a lot of that, whatever that other one was. This actually came out on Steam not too long ago. Somebody in the Discord was actually recommending it to me. Looks pretty cool. Again, I'm a little turned off by the roguelike aspect because I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with roguelikes. It's just that, I don't know. I mean, like, I enjoy the feeling of knowing that I've overcome, like, a curated, built experience as opposed to, like, a randomly generated.
As opposed to hitting your head against the wall over and over again.
Yeah, but basically the whole thing here is that you're a skeleton and you put different heads on and you get different powers.
That's cute.
And it's got a kind of pixel art style.
Yeah.
Pixel art's all probably nice.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks like it will be a good roguelike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. From there, we got kind of a montage with Art of Rally, this Kiwi,
Oh yeah,
Kewwe, which appears to be like a bunch of Kiwi birds doing crazy shit.
as you do.
Labyrinth City Pierre, the Maze Detective.
Jesus.
Which looked an awful lot like a Where's Waldo book.
Oh yeah, it does. I didn't put that together.
Which I kind of enjoyed. Weaving Tides.
Style there.
The House of the Dead remake, which I can't believe they put into a montage and didn't like
make a big deal out of it, because House of the Dead is like this. It's not like a super huge franchise, but this thing everybody knows.
Yeah, and it's being done by Megapixel Studio, who did the Panzer Dragoon remake.
Oh,
so and yeah, I mean, it looks good.
All right.
And Ender Lily's Quietest of the Nights, which is a Metroidvania style game. It reminds me a lot of that like Midoriya Behind the Moon or whatever that one game is. Anyway, I don't know. Some of the stuff starts to run together a little bit.
Stylistically, that also looks really cool. I based on what I saw of it. I mean, it's got this really specific JRPG art style that I fucks with. So could be good.
Yeah. And then Beasts of Moravia Island.
That looks like it could be fun.
It's like Pokemon Snap. Fez.
Yeah, that surprised me because I was like,
out.
What?
Yeah.
Fez? Like, I thought Fez got canceled.
Well,
or whatever.
OG Fez, was on everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Fez
it was.
2 got canceled because Phil Fish
it got actually canceled.
Is a baby. Yes.
Well,
and
I'm not getting into it.
I don't know. Now that I know what Fez is, I don't feel the need to go back and ever play Fez ever again.
I remember you telling me that back when you first played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like interesting, but part of it, the platforming part of it was okay, and then there was like the meta puzzle, but that's solved.
Yeah. So it's like, why?
I mean, I guess it's an interesting thing, and it was interesting that there was so much hidden in it that you had to discover on your own.
Yeah, I mean, but then you find it, and I mean, it is one of those situations where there are certain games where you wish you could go back and re-experience it. I mean, I feel that way about Breath of the Wild all the time. Like, I love going back to replay Breath of the Wild because it's fun, and it's, I'm back in this world. I like this world.
Yep.
But man, I really wish I could go back and see a dragon for the first time from the distance. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
That's what if humanity ever actually develops that eternal sunshine technology, that's what we're going to be using it for. Just
we're be going back and playing the same games over and over again.
All right, Cindy, I need Dark Souls out again. I'm bored. All right, just take Dark Souls out. I gotta try it again.
I just want to replay Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then the big last but not least was Oxenfree 2. So Oxenfree, did you know Oxenfree?
No. Oh no, wait. I did hear about this. I think I've been listening a lot to Innuendo Studios, and he made a video about like the adventure game and how the adventure game has evolved. And I think this is one of the things that he pointed out of like, this is a really creative reinterpretation of the adventure game genre.
Yeah, I think that so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to look it up because it's late, but I'm pretty sure that the same company that made Oxenfree made After Party. Remember that one where you have to have a drinking competition with the devil in order to get out of hell? Or it's like this very twee kind of indie thing.
Yeah.
And then I've heard nothing but good things about Oxenfree, but I've never actually played it. So I don't know. Maybe I know that a lot of times whenever I've asked for suggestions for like sequentials, it's come up as a
possibility,
as a suggestion, basically. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a good excuse to get off my butt yeah, they did make After Party. So
Okay.
But yeah, and that was it. So nothing like mind blowing, but just a solid bunch of indies.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of is contrasted a little bit by the Resident Evil showcase.
Yeah.
Matt,
Tell me.
there wasn't like a lot here.
Yeah.
Like there was there's like world premiere, new trailer, and it's like, okay, yeah, Ethan, werewolves, Chris Redfield, tall lady.
There's more
castle.
information.
Yeah.
Slightly more
information.
And it's so it honestly, you know what's funny? I feel like I would
Clowns
be
and shit, or?
well when a clown dies, when a clown cries.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I made it no secret of the fact that I am not that big of a horror game guy.
Right.
I like games with spooky aesthetics, but there are certain horror games that just activate my anxiety, and I can't fucking play them.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like I probably would have an easier time with it because it's not hillbillies in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
It's werewolves and like vampire ladies in a gothic castle. And it's like, tis silly. Tis so silly. I think I'd like to play this. Please step on me. This is inevitably where it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some stuff here, but I mean, like, the other thing is that this game comes out in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like early May, and we're in late April right now. So,
Is there a new demo coming out? Isn't that the big thing?
yeah, it's really complicated.
Right.
Tomorrow, I mean, like, okay, as of hearing this, the PlayStation 5 like 30-minute demo will already be over, but then there's a second demo that's coming out that's the same thing but for all platforms later, and it's a time limited demo. But there's like a village demo and there's like a castle demo. I'm not even going to try with that shit. But yes, there is a second demo. There's this I love the fact though that there's a part in the there's a part of this trailer where Lady Dimitrescu or whatever is like savoring Ethan's blood, and she's making this like real puffy cheeked face, and everybody is using it for the thumbnail for their
yeah. I mean, like, they know what they're fucking doing. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember that fucking stuff that happened a few weeks ago where they were like, we really appreciate your enthusiasm for the new game. We thought everyone would like to know that Lady Dimitrescu is 9 foot 8 inches or whatever.
I think last week they put her shoe size out.
Of course they did.
And I'm like, I think it was last week on the podcast where I asked Bryce, and I'm just like, did everybody become a foot fetishist, or was I unaware that there were so many foot fetishists, or is it everybody just having a good time pretending to be foot fetishists?
I think what I like about this is that, and I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure this is just Resident Evil doing Underworld, because I seriously think this is supposed to be like vampires versus werewolves.
I don't know.
Which I am here for. But I do also have to say that Lycans and Gentlemen is a pretty good fucking line.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could probably, here's maybe where I'm coming from is that, like, I feel like this particular trailer doesn't tell me, like, if I wanted to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, I might be able to glean more information, but we're so close to the end that why would you do that? Why would you just wait and play the game?
For the game to come out?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. Like, I think it looks great. I loved 7. I liked the 2 remake. I liked the 3 make. I'm curious to see what the fuck is going on. So then we also got the I feel like okay. So last time we got the announcement, or we got like a look at the RE verse, like weird, horrible multiplayer thing that they're making.
I remember. I thought when this came up in the video, I was like, "Isn't that the thing that Jeff and I spent like 20 minutes shitting on?"
Yes. And then like this time, they announced Mercenaries mode, which I feel like it's so weird to me because like I think Mercenaries mode is terrible. Like, the last thing I want to do is turn Resident Evil into a time attack thing where you've got to kill stuff super fast or else you can't play it anymore. Like, which is what Mercenaries mode has always been. Like, when you kill, you get more time. There's a timer and it times down. And there's going to be Mercenaries mode in Resident Evil Village. And it's like, well, okay.
It's not really why I bought the game.
But then it's weird because in previous Resident Evil games, when they had Mercenaries mode, a lot of times you would choose between different characters and then had like different powers, right? You'd choose like Wesker or Chris or like, somebody who had like blah, blah, blah. And here it's all in first person. And I'm like, well, can you play as like Lady Dimitrescu?
Which would be amazing. She's like 5 foot taller than everyone else in the game.
Yeah.
I would like that.
So I don't know. This doesn't do a lot for the old Jeffster. Like, they go into a lot of detail, but it's kind of like the RE-verse thing where it's like, well, okay. I mean, like, there's like weird upgrades that you get, and you got to buy stuff and kits and loadout, and it's like,
I like the fat guy.
You know what I liked was in Resident Evil 3, they had a system where you could buy upgrades. But like every time you played through the game, it would count up your points and then give you credits to encourage you to play the game multiple times and then like get like the infinite ammo handgun and see how does that change things. Whereas this mode, I don't know. Games what got timers on the screen give me anxiety.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm already like, man, when it comes to games, there has to be, that's not for Matt.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of guy who likes to, I was trying to think about how to express this, like playing a game just for the game's sake, like just for the sake of just the mechanics. That's one of the reasons why I don't play multiplayer, because I don't like playing the same thing over and over and over again. I will play an experience like a whole game over and over again if it hits all the right buttons, but I don't know. There's just something about, like, I'm just not a multiplayer guy. It's one of the reasons why I sometimes have trouble getting invested in playing Mario games, because it's just the mechanics. You're just doing a thing over and over. I don't know.
I see. For me, I guess the thing is that I've never thought that like the combat elements of Resident Evil are good, but they're not so good that I would want to play a pure. Like, I need the stakes of the story to add to the good combat.
It sort of flies in the face of being a survival horror game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
You're not supposed to be good at this stuff.
I mean, I guess the thing is that it's like the pressure becomes a time pressure as opposed to a resource pressure. So it's still like the game is pressuring you to keep to you just monitoring something different. So I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me all that much. Yeah.
And yeah.
Also, what it doesn't appeal to me is like a bunch of people from Sony saying like, "Happy 25th anniversary."
I think that's kind of sweet. That's kind of nice.
I don't know. This lady from the studio director at Media Molecule, I'm like, the Dreams Company?
That was a little weird, but what I mean, hey, if they're Resident Evil fans, then I mean, these are all people. The thing to remember is a lot of these people are people who got into the industry because they like games. It's not like Reggie from Nintendo sending a message. Reggie gives a shit about Nintendo. And Nintendo doing well as a company.
Right.
A lot of these developers are like, these are probably people who played Resident Evil when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to push back a little bit on that. And I'm going to say that I think that's very wholesome.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan anymore.
Sorry.
I think that between Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and Bethesda, I don't give a shit what humans have to say. Just show me fucking video games. And then we also got a full trailer for Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which I thought was a movie, but is apparently a series on Netflix that is like 2 years after RE4. Fucking Leon's in the White House. We got the President Evil thing going on again.
Oh yeah, the President Evil. That's a loading bar joke.
Yeah, some giraffe is blowing a lady. Like, I don't know what's going on, or the other way around.
Yeah, or something.
Anyway,
somebody's blowing a giraffe is involved in a blowjob. That's all we know.
I haven't enjoyed any of the CGI Resident Evil movies. Except for that one where Chris and that dude run around in a circle and shoot at each other from like 6 inches away and nobody hits anybody. They fire like 150 times.
Well, isn't it like kind of a foregone conclusion that most Resident Evil ancillary media is not great?
Resident Evil is funny because it's a very long-running franchise with a checkered history.
Checkered is a good way to describe it.
There are peaks and troughs.
Mm-hmm.
There are highs and lows.
Mm-hmm.
There are nears and fars in the Resident Evil franchise.
Wherever you are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was it.
What I thought was interesting about this video is that when you get to the end, it's like like a solid 10 minutes of an ad. Oh, right. And then there's the shit about Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, Resident Evil is coming to Dead by Daylight.
All right.
Who gives a
Stars.
fuck? Yeah. And they're going to announce more later.
I mean, if people like
this
it.
wasn't. Oh, this wasn't in the showcase originally. They also, it was weird when I watched this showcase originally. This wasn't in it.
Yeah, you pulled this up, and I'm like, I don't remember this.
And I brought up a different video, and I knew this. This is in the news that I brought up. But we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this.
All right.
In any case,
yeah, there's a half-hour pre-order now, or 10 minutes of a pre-order now screen.
Yeah,
which is like, I get it. The game's coming out.
Again, I think that a lot of it though is that, Matt, I just don't think that Resident Evil is a consistent franchise.
No.
I think you have to look at every single release and go like, maybe? Or like, I think that part sounds interesting. That's why I think that I get so wrapped up in RE7, because I liked everything that RE7 did. Like, I even liked the DLCs. I liked the silly DLCs, the fucking blackjack game, the Saw blackjack game.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
The one where the mom is coming in to check on if you've eaten your horrible shit.
So
You got to get out
weird.
of the room. Like,
Yeah.
I loved all of that stuff. And like, 3 was a little short. 2 was a fine remake, but it was just a remake. And like, I'm interested to see what's going on in 8, but like, I have no interest in RE-verse. I have no interest in Mercenaries mode. This Infinite Darkness, I might watch it and see how goofy it is, and then like maybe keep watching it and maybe not. I've already played like a whole 8-hour game where Leon Kennedy was in the White House.
Yeah, that's what I was so confused by. I was like, didn't we already do this story beat?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the trade-offs of having a huge, super successful franchise. Hello, Godzilla fan here. You've got to kind of take the good with the bad and make your choices accordingly. Like, I'm gonna go see the new Godzilla movie or watch the new Godzilla anime, but I'm not going to probably download the DLC for World of Warships that has Godzilla and Kong sitting on top of Godzilla and Kong themed warships.
Are you not going to do that? I thought for sure you would do that.
In a different time, when there wasn't so much goddamn Godzilla media, that's like my cup runneth over. And now I probably know how Resident Evil fans feel, where it's like, oh, I don't have to consume every piece of Resident Evil media.
Right.
I don't have to consume every piece of Godzilla media. There's plenty for me to consume and also go do other shit.
That was actually interesting because I think that RE Village is coming out like in a couple of weeks. RE3 I played all the way through it on stream at the very beginning of the lockdown when I was just streaming, because I played like all of I played Final Fantasy VII for a few days. I played Modern Warfare 2, and then I decided just to play all the way through RE3 when I was just streaming stuff.
Sure.
Before I kind of figured out how to do a Dojo Remoto.
Yeah, you gotta,
When you and I did the very first Remoto.
Oh, yeah.
With Good Job.
That was fun.
Where your microphone sounded like garbage.
My microphone sounded like garbage, and I'm pretty sure I was in the middle of an anxiety attack while we were doing that, which happened a couple of times, but I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yep. I got better.
In other Resident Evil news, there's another feature that we've heard a rumor about, where apparently the idea is that after you beat Resident Evil Village, it'll unlock a mode that randomizes like the placement of enemies and items and ammo and stuff like that. In a kind of a roguelike thing. Like, it's not going to remix the world, but it'll remix the challenges. So that's a thing again that I'm like, why? So you know what it is, Matt, is that so many of these things, RE verse, mercenaries mode, randomize the thing. I'm like, guys, could you just not do any of that and then like make 30% more story for the game? Because I'll just play more of the single player game and I'll be happy. You don't have to like, it isn't 2014. You don't have to add like a tacked on roguelike, infinitely playable multiplayer add-on. Like they did that with 3, with that whole like 4 players versus like a weird DM that's running that can like spawn nemesis. Is anybody still playing that game?
I mean, that again, that's part of the trade-off because they did 7, and 7 was, I mean, okay, so 6 came out, and 6 was kind of like it wasn't what they wanted it to be. It was it wasn't even a failure. It just
go watch the What Happened.
Go watch the What Happened. But then they did 7.
Yep.
They took it back to code. They did something new that was in the spirit of Resident Evil. They Breath of the Wild did it.
Sure.
And now it's like, oh, Resident Evil is it's a thing again.
Yeah.
Oh. So now you've got the higher ups saying, okay, do that again, but let's start slipping that other stuff in that our market research says does this, and this. You got to chase the algorithm, Jeff.
I think it's a problem because I feel like you have to keep Capcom hungry and humble. If Capcom gets a big head, then bad things happen. Well, and then speaking of bad things, so this is the last thing that I didn't talk about before, but the Oculus Quest 2, the Oculus team, has remade Resident Evil 4 as a VR game.
Oh.
So this is...
This I did not see.
Very strange.
I just saw his hand floating there.
Yeah. Is they've taken RE4 and turned it into a first-person Oculus game. Now, I look at this, and I maybe I need to play it, right?
Right.
But, like, the thing is that one of the reasons, at least early on, I mean, I guess RE7 maybe was different, but RE7 didn't have as many, like, enemies as RE4 did. Like, one of the things about RE4 is that you wanted the third-person perspective to keep, like, a situational awareness of the huge groups of Las Plagas that were coming at you.
Right.
So you knew, like, when to move, when to pull out, when to reposition or go upstairs or jump out a window, right?
Right.
And I just don't see how that's going to work with first person, let alone having to manually aim at Plagas. It seems like it'd be very difficult.
Well, I mean, maybe they maybe they reworked that, keeping that in mind. We literally won't know until we got it in our hot little eyeballs.
Yeah. They also was a kind of a brief teaser, and they said they're going to be putting out more information. So, yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. Real weird. Real strange. Real strange stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Oculus Quest, the Oculus Quest 2 is getting an update pretty soon to be able to do wireless PC VR. So at this point, the Oculus Quest is the standalone one where you have to load stuff on there, and then there's like a link cable that you can plug it into your PC. This is essentially, I'm really confused about this because from reading this article, it sounds like what they're going to be doing is the like Google Stadia streaming over your home network from your computer to your headset. Like that's the wireless part, is it'll render on your computer and then stream to your headset and then stream the data back from your headset to your computer and then back and forth. And it's like, if there is one piece of technology where lag is like the death, it's VR. Like it'll make you vomit.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So I don't know. I mean, this is going to be like a full, it's a free update. So I guess you could try it out. But it just seems like a really weird, I mean, I know that like the goal is you want to be able to play like the really good VR games from your PC on your Oculus headset. You also don't want to have to worry about tripping over a cord and then falling down the stairs and dying. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I can see the advantage to it, but it's just the question is like, is the technology there?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, are we at that point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, this is going to add more. It's going to update Infinite Office, which is essentially like an Oculus virtual workspace thing where you can like. So one of the things that the Oculus Quest does is you literally can just draw a line on the floor in your room to create like a room space, and the Quest will remember where you are, and if you get close to the edge, it'll like start to fade in the front-facing cameras to let you know you're about to like slam into a wall.
Oh, okay.
But you can do that by literally just drawing like the space, and then it'll remember it. Apparently, with this Infinite Office thing, you can literally like tell it where your desk is, and then it'll put like a virtual desk in your virtual office that's where your real desk is, so that when your hand goes down, it like you have the real desk is there. And I'm like, what?
Why don't you use your desk like a desk? I don't
know. I mean, I guess the question is, like, I could almost see it. Like if the lag was low enough and the latency and the fidelity was high enough, let's say you wanted to work, like, right? You work.
I work.
Let's say you wanted to draw on a virtual canvas, but you were doing it in VR so the canvas could be like as large as you wanted, and you just used your desk as the canvas, right? Because you'd have something that was tracking it. The thing is that you would need like fingery gloves to see your hands. You can't use the trigger controller to do work. I mean, I guess you could always. I mean, you don't necessarily have to look at your hands when they're on the keyboard to do like productivity stuff, but it seems like it would be helpful. It seems like it'd be disorienting to be working at a desk where you couldn't see any hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It seems a little strange.
Yeah.
Let's see. Speaking of updates, the PlayStation 5 got a big update last week. A few weird things here. It finally has support for the TV link that can go through HDMI, turn on your TV. The big one that everybody's talking about is that you can now offload games onto an external hard drive.
Okay.
But you can't play them from an external hard drive. So you can like move them back and forth so you don't have to re-download them, but you can free up space by moving to an external hard drive.
Okay.
They didn't get the M2 slot unlocked, so you can't expand the storage on it yet. But you can at least manipulate it. And then also it has support for the PlayStation 4 had like a streaming component where you could literally like share your game out to a friend and they could literally like pick up a controller and play from where you left off, like using kind of streaming tech.
Okay.
Apparently you could do that. Now if you're on the same network or you have a fast enough network, you can stream the input and output from a PS5 to a PS4. You literally play PlayStation 5 games on a PlayStation 4 as long as you already own a PlayStation 5.
Well, yeah.
Or know someone who's willing to put it in like the park mode so that you can use it.
I mean, it's like that's kind of fun. It's like that's neat. That's a neat thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, I have a PS5.
Yeah. It always seems like a weird thing to me where I'm like, I mean, I know that I'm quite privileged to have been able to get a PlayStation 5. But if I didn't have a PlayStation 5 and somebody was like, hey, do you want to play my PS5 like a Google Stadia? And I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I would rather not.
I just realized something looking at the PS5. It looks like a sandwich.
This kind of looks like a sandwich.
It looks like a tostada. No, tostada's like an open face. And anyway,
you're not allowed to have any more White Claw, Matt. In other Sony news, we got the incredibly baffling report that apparently Naughty Dog is currently working on a PlayStation 5 remake of The Last of Us.
How many remakes is this?
This would be the second. After the version that from the PS3 was on the PS4. Apparently this started as another company working on it, and it was like an unlicensed remake that like one Sony studio was doing, and then they got moved to another project, and then Sony was like, yeah, give all the code to Naughty Dog. And so they started working on it.
That's fucking weird.
This is one of those ones where I don't understand why. Well, I mean, I know that The Last of Us is very popular. Obviously, I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm stupid, but I'm not stupid like that. But does it look so bad that you need to have a remake?
I just
of it?
don't.
Like,
I mean, at this point, it's just. At this point, it's just they know they've got a really popular franchise on their hands.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, they're just trying to find ways they can keep making money off of it without having to make Last of Us 3.
I'm wondering if it would be interesting if they were to bring Last of Us 1 up to the graphical fidelity of Last of Us 2 and then sell, like, basically, I guess, like a Last of Us complete edition where you play all the way through 1 with the DLC for 1 and then all the way into 2 and experience Ellie's whole story from beginning to end on one disc or something.
Two whole DVDs.
Yeah. I don't get this one. I don't really get this one all that much, but let's see. Another problem, another thing that people don't understand all that much is apparently some random PS3 games no longer are able to get their patch data.
Oh.
Now the PS3 store is being shut down along with the PSP and PS Vita store. It's been a story I've talked about 8 times by now. But apparently no one's entirely sure. That's supposed to happen July 2nd. But like some PS3 games just won't update. Like if it's a split between disc and download, and if you try to force them to update, they won't update. It seems to happen more in North America than it does in Europe. And so people are assuming that it's probably just some kind of like glitch, but right now it's got everybody like super freaked out because if you can't get the updates, then you can't. Well, first off, if you own a PlayStation 3 game, you can still play it even after they shut the store down.
Right.
And you should get the latest patches.
Right.
And without the latest patches, you can't play those games online. You also can't get like trophies for them or anything. So it's kind of a weird situation where...
Or if there's a patch that fixed something that was pretty serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody's entirely sure exactly what is going on.
What's going on there?
And Sony hasn't really talked all that much about it. Let's see. You know what, Matt? I think we're gonna do one more and then we're gonna take a break.
All right.
So
Good. I gotta pee.
the last Sony news that we have is that Sony has invested $200 million in Epic Games.
Oh my.
Yes. Now, this actually is not such a big deal because last year in July they invested $250 million in Epic Games.
As you do.
So, and it appears that this just is Sony trying to basically cozy up and have a very good working relationship with Epic Games, which is very smart because, you know, a lot of people I feel like maybe hear Epic Games, they think of the Epic Games Store, they think of Fortnite, right? But I want everybody to remember that like Epic Games also makes the fucking Unreal Engine,
right,
which I'm sure Sony uses for a lot of their projects. So having a good working relationship with Epic is not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to do more news. We have much more news to do.
Oh, God.
So we'll see you. We'll
drink some coffee.
We'll see you in a minute. We'll see you in a minute.
Hell yeah.
We got it's a very late night, very haggard Matt and Jeff. You know, Matt, we probably should spend like an hour yelling at each other before we start recording and then
yelling at each other and then eating chicken wings and then you continuing to yell at each other.
Yes. And like yelling at each other, yelling into the microphone, yelling at each other, yelling into the microphone. And then I can smoke a bunch of cigarettes in between just to keep my voice like extra grimy.
Yeah, and I'm kind of down at this register. Oh, Monarch, you're crazy.
So before we left, we talked about Sony investing in the Epic Games Store. This week, we actually found out an interesting thing about the Epic Games Store. Through the Apple lawsuit, there was a filing that apparently Epic lost $330 million last year. because of all of the like exclusives that they were buying out and like all of the money they were just like, because I don't know if you know this, but like the Epic Game Store just gives out like 2 free games every day and they have to like pay for that shit. So apparently though, Tim Sweeney is not unhappy about this and sees the company starting to turn like a full-on profit by 2023. Now this is interesting because it just goes to show what it takes to break a company's stranglehold on a market. Like, this is all in service of having a competitor to Steam, which I think is really interesting because it means they've had to be super aggressive and they've had to have a company with enough money to take huge financial losses in order to compete in here, because otherwise you're just Steam eats your lunch, right?
Yeah.
Like GOG exists, but they mostly exist to sell older games, and also like they're an arm of CD Projekt Red, so like they're kind of, you know, there's like a lot of weird intermingling of stuff in here. I think it's really interesting to see just what it takes to come into the market. You know, there's kind of like it's a knee-jerk reaction of just like, let me put it this way. We had a story a few weeks back about how Steam had refused to list Super Seducer 3 on Steam.
Yeah.
Even though there's like over 2,000 hentai games, like full sex hentai games on Steam.
Right.
And it just goes to show that like getting into this market is a huge thing, and Steam is a really entrenched freaking 500-pound gorilla in the games market when it comes to the PC. So I personally really want Epic to work out. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like them, but I think that you need the competition,
right?
Or else Steam is able to just do what they've done and offer like this incredibly lackluster service,
right?
Because they're the only game in town, because they have a basic monopoly. I mean, you know, there's like what fucking G2A and like these kind of shady, like when I had to buy Super Seducer 3 off of some third-party website, and it took like hours and hours and hours to download because it was downloading like the install package like in 2 gig chunks that then had to run back through an installer. So like Super Seducer 3 is all these uncompressed movies. It's like a 30 gig install.
Jesus.
And like on Steam, it would have taken, I have like blazingly fast internet. It would have taken like an hour to install. And instead it took like 5 hours to install or to download. And then it took like an hour to install. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point I'm making here.
I see what you're saying. It's just like, you gotta have and any market, you got to have competition.
Yes.
If you, like you said, this is why we're in the situation we're in, is because we have these these monolithic mega corporations that have
just funny to think of Valve as that.
I know, it's weird. that don't have any competitors in their field that can match them in any capacity, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's why we have situations like YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi, YouTube. Is kind of a shit company and kind of treats people like garbage, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
I just wish Steam, like the service that sells video games. When was the last time you went to Steam, Matt? Like,
I have not for a long time.
I have a really serious beef with Steam, and it's because when you go to Steam's website, like, it starts out with an ad for whatever sale they've got, and then it's got featured and recommended, and then it's got special offers, and it's got your discovery queue, and then it's got the community recommends, it's got players like you love, and then it's got because you played this, and then it's got here's an ad for the Valve Index, and here's some curated suggested curators, and here's recently updated, and here's from developers you may know, and then you finally get to new games that are out. You have to scroll down past 50% of the garbage. No other website works like this, where you have to just like it would be like if every website you went to, if half the page was banner ads before you got to even the content that you were looking for.
That is functionally what they are, and it's like, wow, I didn't even...
It is horrible UX. And there's like no way, like normally on a website you would expect, oh, can I like log in, customize, move this to the top. And it's like, no, you can't. You can't do that. And I'm like, this is what bothers me. This website looks like it was made in 1998. Like,
It kind of has that vibe to it of like, here's your web ring.
right. It looks terrible. It's fucking awful. It looks like spill.com. Like, it's just,
Damn.
It's like 100 carousels of just, and I don't know. I want somebody to make them be better.
Yep.
And I'm not even talking about like, you don't have to completely redo the service. I'm just like, make a functional web page that looks like a web page.
Yeah.
I don't mind the banner out at the top, but just put the new games on the game service set website that sells video games as the first thing.
What a concept.
But they just don't want you to see that it's like 90% hentai games. So
Of course.
yeah. Anyway, let's see. From there, we got another kind of what the fuck story. Discord is going to be, the way that this is phrased is actually kind of misleading. But basically, Discord is going to be marking certain communities as NSFW. And the reason for this is the same reason that Tumblr took all the porno off.
It's that whole fucking
Because if you can't say this is every part of Apple controls your access, and if you have over 18 stuff, Apple doesn't want you on their service because Apple's their store and everything is weirdly puritanical and like so now if you are trying to access a marked NSFW server on Discord on an iOS device, you cannot. Yeah. Not to go too far out on a limb, because I know that you and I have a lot of strong feelings about this, but I feel like when you talk about free speech online, I feel like somebody ought to bring up the fact that Apple like directly controls what you can and can't say on their platform, which is so big that getting like removed from their platform, like in Tumblr's case, right? It was like it was more profitable for them to lose the people who were there for NSFW content and remain on iOS than it was to just say, well, we're going to allow whatever we want, even if Apple kicks us off the iOS stuff.
Boy, hearing that just kind of laid out makes me real tired because I just,
Yeah. Now, part of this is it's interesting because there's actually, here's a quote, which is kind of interesting. Having NSFW channels does not automatically mean, however, that an entire server should be designated as NSFW. Servers must be classified as NSFW if the community is organized around NSFW themes or if the majority of the server's content is 18 plus. Discord will mark servers meeting these criteria as NSFW if they're not appropriately designated. So it doesn't mean that, like, if somebody signs up for your Discord server and says fuck, then you're gonna get like taken off of Apple.
Well, small fucking mercies.
Yeah. This is one of those times where I've never been so glad to be a content creator with a really tiny audience.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking. I mean, you put it in perspective, and you're just like, yeah, somebody with a really, really big audience.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple of Outriders stories.
Oh God.
Outriders has been having a really tough time.
Yeah, wait. I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Outriders is that game that you and I played with the weird guns and the like. It started off as Avatar and then turned into Mad Max.
Yes.
And I didn't think or hear about it until I saw Jim Sterling's video about like this game doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. The thing is that Outriders has had a lot of problems from people not being able to log in. There's actually a pretty big bug that's been happening where people's inventories just are emptied.
Cool.
In a looter shooter. Where you're playing the game for loot. And then your inventory is empty.
Not good.
So they put out a patch last week that was supposed to address this. And it kind of did. But then also some people who were not having this problem suddenly started having this problem.
Oh, good.
So they're working on that. Also, another story, if you're playing on the PC, you might check your crash dump folder there's a app data local madness saved, which is like the save data location for Outriders, that apparently because it crashes so much and it saves the crash data every time, one user has said that they had like 22 gigs worth of crash data.
Jesus.
Which, like, if you're running a smaller solid state drive to like keep your games fast, might end up being like, I don't know, a quarter of your 100 gig hard drive that you're using for that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not great.
It's not great.
I haven't bothered to go back. Speaking of not bothering,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yes.
This is the most ridiculous story.
This is the most ridiculous.
Okay, Matt. What is the most ridiculous crossover with Rainbow Six that you can think
for
of?
crying out loud.
It's a popular franchise. Several seasons.
Animorphs.
Is currently active.
Multiple seasons of fucking She-Ra? I don't know.
Not far off.
Really?
Yeah, because there is a Pickle Rick skin for Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six.
It's when Pickle Rick puts on the rat
thing.
armor and fights. It's that, and there's also a Gromflamite one for one of the other people, and I don't have any idea. Who what the fuck, man? Like what?
Sure. I mean,
like, aren't you like 2 years too late for the meme?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe strike while the iron is hot, guys.
Yeah. So
I get this stuff takes time to do, but I don't know.
I just looked at this and went, "What?" And like one of the guns has the skin, so that on the side it has the sticker that says like "Fake gun, shoot me in standoff." And I'm like,
well, then if it's a fake gun, then
right. What?
Okay.
What?
It's a fake gun.
No, I'm like, who? Why? What? This is like,
you know that this is gonna be a bunch of people fucking downloading this.
I guess
too.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
It's because isn't there a new season coming out?
Yeah, season 5.
That's fucking. That's why.
But yeah, but Pickle Rick is like,
but it's Pickle Rick.
Is old.
Yeah, but it's.
Isn't it 2 seasons old at this point?
I think it was season 2, wasn't it?
Was it season 3? Because season 2 is when he goes to prison, and then season 3 is when he breaks out of prison. And
so wasn't season? Yeah, wait.
I think it was. I think it was season 3. Wait, okay.
Do we have to find out?
I'm sitting in front of the internet for fuck's sake. Like, let's see. Rick. No, not Richard La Ruina's website. God damn it! I need to clear my cache. I thought. Let's see, Rick and Morty season 3. Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick was season 3.
Oh my god!
2017. What? 17.
Oh no!
3 years before COVID.
Oh, I don't like it.
Time.
Oh.
This is your daily reminder that you're all getting older.
Oh God!
If I'm getting older, everybody's gotta get older.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, hey, all you fucking kids who went to McDonald's and yelled about being Pickle Rick.
Right.
That was 2017.
That was 2017.
You're all gonna die. I shouldn't say that.
This is what happens when we record this podcast late at night.
Yeah.
So, in other news, last week, there was a game that came out called Before Your Eyes, which was a short game. I actually have been interested in playing this, where you turn on a webcam, and when you blink, it changes the game. Like, it tracks your blinks to do stuff in the game.
Weird. Okay.
Interesting. Kind of experimental game, right?
That's kind of fun, yeah.
So apparently, this kind of kicked off an interesting thing where there was a guy on Twitter that tweeted and was like, a person who went on and they like gave the game a thumbs up, and they went on Twitter and they were like, this game was great. And then the developer looked them up and realized that they had bought the game, beat it, and then refunded it on Steam.
Oh.
And like publicly called the guy out and was like, you know, like, if you do that, I don't get any money. You know that, right? Like,
right.
The person was appropriately cowed and
contrite.
Yes, and went and bought the game. But it inspired the developer, Bela Messiks, to create a game and submit it to Steam called Refund This Game. That is a game that costs $100 and is a timer set for 2 hours. And if you quit the game in the last 5 seconds of the timer, you get a Steam achievement. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you play a game on Steam for over 2 hours, you cannot get a refund. So it's basically like, okay, fuckos.
That's some god tier level trolling. Like, woo, that's good.
I like it. I like it quite a bit.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen what Steam allows on their platform, so you might as well.
Might as well. I mean, it's not like you give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other Steam news, there was a big hubbub a few weeks back where Nier Automata was put on Xbox Game Pass. And it was the PC Game Pass, and the version on PC Game Pass was really good. And it had like a high frame rate, and it ran really well. When traditionally, the Nier Automata that was released on Steam was a very poor version of the game that ran badly, and like people have been patching it with the community. And so people started review bombing it on Steam because they were like, hey. And then there was actually an announcement where they said that the version on Xbox Game Pass was like a new version of it that was created by another third-party studio.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And like they've been waiting for, I think, since 2017 to get like a good patch for Nier Automata on Steam.
Oh boy.
So they started review bombing it, which I'm generally not in favor of, but in this case I think it was fully justified because they are getting an updated version of it.
Well, there you go.
So
good.
Yeah, which is good. Good news for everybody.
It's definitely one of those games that looks super interesting, looks super cool, probably really good. Never going to have time to play it, and there sure is a lot of porn.
Man, I feel like we just need to I need to see your Outlook calendar, and then I'm just going to find I'm going to take a third of your commitments in life and just call them and be like, no. Matt, I'm in charge. I say no.
Don't. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
That's a bad.
In other news about Square Enix, there was a rumor this week that Square Enix might be looking at a buyout, which is interesting because with Microsoft consolidating all of these studios, there was potential rumors of that, and there was also kind of the idea that like with Microsoft bringing all these studios under the Microsoft umbrella, that Sony might be looking to accumulate something like Square that has a bunch of stuff because they obviously have a pretty close relationship with exclusives and stuff like that. Apparently, this is not the case, or at least it has been publicly stated that it's not the case. Who knows whether there's actually something going on or not. I kind of hate Square as a publisher.
Yeah, you and I have talked about that a little bit, about how Square has just really burned a lot of goodwill, especially in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of think as a developer, whatever, a lot of their games aren't for me anymore, but like as a publisher,
yeah, now that I think about it, a lot of the games they publish are not great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Man.
For me, it's just because they fucked over IO Interactive with Hitman.
Oh,
they demanded that it was episodic, and then they got mad at how it sold, and I
remember that whole thing.
Yep. Speaking of companies that I don't like all that much, Ubisoft announced officially that they're doing another Ubisoft Forward this year for the digital E3 2021 event happening in June. So
there you go.
Yep. Saturday, June 12th. We're going to be seeing another bunch of Ubisoft stuff. I'm curious what other Rick and Morty characters will be in Ubisoft's press conference this year.
Man, I can't wait.
If you could put one Rick and Morty character in one Ubisoft game, what would it be?
Oh my God! I just thought of Assassin's Creed with Rick and Morty.
Assassin's Creed with Mr. Poopy Butthole as the main character.
Yeah, I'd play the shit out of that.
Ooh-wee, Assassino!
Assassino! Ooh-wee, just close your eyes.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see more of Far Cry 6. which they announced last year.
Oh yeah,
Fucking Gus from Breaking Bad.
I don't
name
remember. I don't remember.
Have a hard time remembering because it's very late. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
Also, they announced some kind of Star Wars thing that they're making. So,
Woo. More Star Wars.
Maybe. I mean, like, I could maybe get into an open world Star Wars RPG, but Ubisoft, I don't like anything that they make now.
You and I have talked about that. It's just they've I don't know, just move on.
Okay.
I just like we've already talked about talked about it, but just this idea of like Ubisoft again having burned a lot of goodwill because a lot of the stuff they make is either the same or it's kind of poopy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that Beyond Good and Evil 2 that you showed me like 3 years ago.
Did I watch the rest of that? What happened? I don't really. It's like, is there a what happened about it?
Well, maybe you don't want to wait until June, Matt.
Oh,
maybe you need more Ubisoft in your life right now.
Oh, okay.
And you can do that via YouTube because Ubisoft launched like a TV channel in the UK called GTV. It's also on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and all kinds of other places as well.
What the fuck was that channel?
G4.
Yeah, G4, and what they something else before that? The Cube or something?
That I don't know.
They had anime. Sometimes.
Yeah, I watched one piece of one of these and I was generally unimpressed. It was just like, we're all going to sit around and talk about what makes for good humor in video games in like a roundtable format. And I'm like,
what is this, 2005?
I don't really know. I mean, their YouTube channel, humor in games and Babatunde, I don't know. It's Reaper Lords, GTA's first motorcycle club stories.
What?
I don't know.
What?
It's happening. It's a TV channel.
It's
Ubisoft
happening.
Is doing
Get ready
it.
because it's happening.
Yeah.
That is so retro.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
I'll tell you what else is retro, Matt.
What's that? Tell me.
Time Splitters 2. So, this is the weirdest fucking story of all time.
Okay.
In Homefront: The Revolution, the sequel to Homefront, the terrible, terrible sequel to Homefront.
Yeah, I thought that was terrible.
Mm-hmm. There was an arcade machine. And the arcade machine, you could play 2 levels from Time Splitters 2, and you could play them in full 4K if you're playing the game in 4K. It was like a remaster. From there, it came out that actually the entire game is in Homefront: The Revolution. And one of but there was a code that you needed to unlock it. And the guy that put it in there lost the notebook that had the code in it.
No!
And there was one other guy that had the code and put it into a Discord server, and the mods banned him because they thought that he was being a cheeky dick.
Okay.
Did you guys know Time Splitters 2 is totally at Homefront: The Revolution? Just enter in this crazy code. And they were like, you liar. Get the fuck off this server.
Wow.
But somebody has actually gone in and reverse engineered it and figured out how to get access to Time Splitter 2.
The things people do with their fucking time.
Yes.
When video games are vaguely involved.
Yes.
Wow.
So
I'm assuming Time Splitters is a better game.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Homefront: The Revolution made me physically ill to play because of the frame rate. So.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And I played all the way through Homefront, the first one, which was also very bad. So. All right, Matt.
Yeah.
You've sat through a lot of me talking about stupid shit. It's time to talk about some Matt shit. You ready?
I'm ready.
We had a trailer this week.
My butthole's puckered.
Okay.
Yep.
We had a trailer for a brand new Godzilla game.
Oh, this shit. Yeah, go ahead.
Matt already knows.
Of course I do.
Godzilla phone game.
Yay! That's right. They made like
bad.
3 of these.
It's really bad.
Okay, so Godzilla Destruction. It's like a little tapping game where you tap to destroy stuff. That's a big ass Super X. That's a big ass Super X3. I didn't see that.
Okay.
So
it looks terrible.
It just that's all they are. Is that they're just these cheap little cash-in phone games. It looks better than the other one that they put out, which is like a game where you raise your own Godzilla, and it's like a racing game with poorly animated little Ghidorahs and little Mothras.
Wait, is it a Godzilla Tamagotchi kart racer?
It's weird. and your tutorial is managed by Adam and Eve.
Like the biblical figures?
Biblical figures, and it's like...
Is it because he's Godzilla? Is he the one that kicked them out of the garden?
God, I hope so. It's just.
Was the snake his tail? And
it's Shin Godzilla. He has a little mouth on his tail.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, it's fine, whatever. But again, I downloaded that first one and I'm like, oh, this is like rife with microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this one, Godzilla Destruction, and then there's another one they put out that's like Godzilla Battle something. And again, it's all turn-based, but it's supposed to be... Okay.
You just want a good Godzilla game for your phone.
Ed Boon. I don't want a Godzilla game for my phone. I want a Godzilla game.
Okay.
And I think it was Ed Boon who said... He made a tweet saying... He posted like a poll on Twitter and said, y'all want a Monsterverse video game, like a Monsterverse fighting game?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, overwhelmingly, people were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So people are wondering, like, does that mean anything? Is he going to... Because I've been saying for years that Warner Brothers Games and NetherRealm should just make a Godzilla fighting game and make it based on the Monsterverse.
Mm-hmm.
So... don't have to go back and do all the... I mean, I would love for them to go back and do all the classic monsters, but if you just want a nice, simple starting point, just make it a Godzilla versus Kong game and, like, make sure you put in Rodan and Mothra and Ghidorah and the new monsters like the Skull Crawlers and Behemoth and all that shit. And you got a really solid fighting game there, and something like NetherRealm, which is a good developer and can make it a good game and make it fast and also work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Honestly, I saw this and I couldn't even really get mad because I'm like, of course,
right.
Of course.
It's like Konami pooping out some Castlevania pachinko game, and you're just like, of course.
There are fucking dope ass Godzilla pachinko games that they filmed new live action segments with like guys in suits and stuff.
Sure.
And they have these little like little animated, like not even anime, like little Godzilla teeth that come down on the screen, or little Godzilla face that goes. And I'm like, I want that in my house. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Whatever. If people enjoy these things, then that's fine. I probably will give the Destruction one a shot because it looks like it has the most potential to at least be a fun little time waster. Mm-hmm. But if it's just riddled with microtransactions that stop your forward momentum after 20 minutes after downloading the game, then, you know, I don't know. Maybe not for Matt.
Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what won't have any microtransactions.
Yeah.
And that's that new Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Oh, yeah. Morgan is so fucking excited for this.
We got a comparison trailer, really looking at like just a couple of things to show.
Man, that's a difference.
Yeah. The way that they have all the work that they've done on the first game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. I mean, I got to tell you, like, I do think it's a little funny, though, the way that they feel the need to very much label which one's the original and which one isn't. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I can tell which one is the original.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, pretty confident. I mean, it's nice, though, that they want to, they're just they're fancying it up. But yeah, Morgan could not be more excited about this because I like how it's like more detailed boobs. Mm-hmm. Because the BioWare RPGs are like the only games Morgan plays. Mm-hmm. And she's, of course, like all in on these.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm excited, too, because I tried to play the first Mass Effect and I was sitting here being like, why is my lesbian alien dating simulator keeping interrupted by a subpar shooter? Like, I don't care.
I was actually thinking before that, like, I want to know if they fixed the guns that go through the hands. I just want to know if the hands look like they're holding the guns instead of there's all these scenes where Shepard would pull out a pistol, and I'm like, how did you guys even do this? It's not like I got to choose the hand shape of my Shepard, but it was like half the pistol was just like clipping through the hand wrong, and I'm like, well, your big cinematic action beat has been a little undercut
Yeah.
by this horrible thing. So
Man, I'm looking at these old graphics and looking at the new stuff, and it's just I mean, yeah, that was one of the other things that like I didn't try to play the original Mass Effect until like Mass Effect 3 came out, and by that point I'm going back and playing it, and I'm like, oh, this isn't like as good as the game I've seen.
Yep.
So I'm excited for this.
The main problem that I keep having, I mean, it looks great, and I think that anybody who's interested in Mass Effect or anybody who hasn't ever played Mass Effect should totally play it. My big thing is as somebody who is just like, well, I already played those, I know the story. Like it's a those 3 games together are an investment, motherfucker. We're talking like Persona 5 levels of time, and as everybody knows, I ain't got time for that shit. That's going to be my new motto coming. Rage Select. I ain't got time for that shit.
I ain't got time to bleed.
That's right. That's not to say that Rage Select won't turn you into a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, it will. You should go on our Patreon, select the sexual Tyrannosaurus tier, and something will happen.
I should put a tier of sexual Tyrannosaurus.
You absolutely should.
We got a full like kind of cinematic trailer for Subnautica Below Zero, which got a recent update, which is pretty cute. I didn't actually make Matt watch this, but it's just kind of like a pre-rendered thing with this character kind of interacting with all this stuff. Have you ever played Subnautica?
No, but it's one of those things that I've heard a lot about.
Kind of underwater Minecraft.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. This is a pretty good trailer. But
yeah, I'll have to go back and watch this. This looks really cute.
It is. It's pretty fun. Let's see. From there, we got a trailer for Aloy, who is the newest goddamn crazy person to join Fortnite. So Aloy is now in Fortnite along with fucking the Xenomorph and Batman and like
just put Godzilla in there, you fucking psychopaths. You know you want to.
Yeah. Crazy.
God, I'm really excited for. I don't think I've made it clear on the podcast that I am really excited for
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero, blah, 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 that one, because I really enjoyed the first one. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to see where they go. It's been fucking long enough.
Now that I put it all together in my head and it's really late, I'm wondering, is this what they spent their $200 million on? Was putting
Aloy in it?
Just to put Aloy into Fortnite?
God, I hope so.
From there, one of the biggest upsets of the week for me, Matt, is that we got a teaser trailer for WWE 2K22.
I thought this was over.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It will never be over.
Of course not.
Wrestling is too big, too many things, too many fans that are willing to spend money. I mean, like, I don't know anybody. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I talked to John and Amanda, and not really many other people about this, but like, John and Amanda apparently have not been happy with a single WWE game in
a while.
Years.
Yeah.
So, last year we got that weird Battlegrounds game, that weird super microtransaction riddled Battlegrounds game.
Yeah.
This year, though, we're getting a brand new 2K game. 2K21 was fucking terrible, but who knows?
They're making another one.
They're making another one.
I mean, I guess we'll fucking see. I mean, maybe they're like the FIFA games, and they just have a built-in audience.
Well, the problem was that Ukes, who had been making the 2K games, left.
Right.
And then the new team that came in had like 9 months to make like a full WWE game.
Well, then maybe this one will be an improvement.
Maybe they figured it out.
Well, I don't have any skin in this game, but I hope for the fans that it is good.
Yeah.
Nothing sucks worse than like having a game and a franchise you love come out and it sucks, and then having another game come out. Oh, that one sucks too. Oh no.
I want to be very clear when I say that, like, I wish every single video game was the most fun video game that ever existed.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that attitude.
Like, I don't want any video game to be bad. And yeah, so I hope it is good as well. I hope they learn their lesson. I hope that the new blood changed stuff. I don't know who any of these people are or what's going on here. There's like a lucha guy, and I don't know anything besides that. But I do think that all the, like, if this is actual gameplay footage that we're seeing here, the like the way that they're swinging on the ropes, the kind of deformation of the ropes as they swing around on them, looks really good. So, but I wouldn't be able to like really compare that to anything else. All right, Matt.
Yeah.
I got one more Matt trailer.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Street Fighter is coming to Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Yes.
I
mean,
Ryu is the Crimson Hawk Ranger.
Yes, he is.
And Chun-Li is the blue something.
Blue Crane Ranger or something. And that's honestly like I like this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is one of the things that I like about Power Rangers, which Super Sentai doesn't really do, is that Power Rangers can kind of cash in on its cultural on its like place in pop culture to have crossovers like this.
Yeah.
I mean, in the comics, they had the Ninja Turtles show up, and the Ninja Turtles somehow got morphin powers and became Turtle Rangers. Like their shells got covered in golden armor and stuff.
That's ridiculous.
It's amazing. And they made like a turtle Megazord.
Oh my God.
And this is honestly kind of fun. Like, yeah, let's take some Street Fighter characters and let's make them into Rangers. Because that's the thing about Ranger powers is you can give just about anyone. It's like a Green Lantern ring. You can give it to anyone.
Well,
as long as they can be portrayed by a guy in a suit.
What's interesting is that the Ryu outfit looks like the White Ranger, but wearing Ryu's gloves.
Kinda. A little bit. I mean, there's subtle differences. Well, it is. There's a lot of White Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really like Chun-Li's outfit.
I didn't see the totality of it, but what I did notice is that unlike, with her wearing like a skin tight outfit as opposed to just the normal tights that she's wearing, her thighs
are amazing.
Look, like double wide, double wide Chun-Li thighs.
Pop my head like a cherry tomato. I don't know. I kind of skipped Battle for the Grid because when it first came out and me and John played it, it was really repetitive because it was like, there's like what 7-10 characters and not a whole lot else, and we're putting more in later.
Didn't you and I play the Stadia version of it?
There was an update or something, like a story mode update we played on for Patreon. So yeah, this kind of makes me wanna play it. And then Legacy Wars is the mobile version that already had Chun-Li and Ryu in it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Let's see. From there, we got a release date for The World Ends With You Part 2.
There's a Part 2 coming out.
Which is going to be coming on July 27th to PS4 and Switch, and a PC version later on in the summer. We also got...
I never got to play the original, but I love the art style.
It's on the Switch. They put out like a remastered version on the Switch.
Well, fine then. Maybe I'll play it.
Well, maybe,
I won't.
I don't know how it works though, because like the previous one, it was like there was the top
DS,
screen
right?
and the bottom screen, and you control the top screen with the D-pad and the bottom screen with the stylus, and you're supposed to play both screens at the same time. I don't know. We got the news that the Minecraft Caves and Cliffs update is being split into two.
Caves and a cliffs.
Yeah. Basically, this is a huge revamp that makes the mountains be less random generated and more like an actual mountain range, new items, new things, and then making like actual cave systems as opposed to just the mines that you find.
It's just a hole.
Right. So
I could see that being pretty cool.
All the Minecraft updates are amazing. That one they did in the Nether last year that Grant and I played, that one of the patrons was nice enough to make a whole fucking roller coaster for us to get on.
Nice. And that is one of the aspects of that. I've never played Minecraft, but when I watch people play it, that is one of the aspects I like, is when you dig down and you find a little cave system. And if they're going to improve on that, then that's a really fun idea. It's honestly something I was kind of wanted in Breath of the Wild, was I wanted like to go explore like a really deep, complex cave system, which is probably what they're going to do in the next game.
We only have the one teaser, I guess, to go on.
Trailer. One.
Hey. I didn't want to hear about it. Bayonetta and fucking Metroid Prime, all right? I don't want to hear about it.
Fair enough.
I don't want to hear about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Matt, your favorite game of all time
Mine.
is coming to the PlayStation 5.
Really?
Genshin Impact.
Oh.
April 28th, version 1.5. PlayStation 5.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that I never thought I'd say.
Uh-huh.
Fuck this game. No, I'm just kidding. No. I just, you know what? It's not that I'm not even going to walk back anything. Just because I didn't click with this game and I have my opinions of it, I know lots of people who fucking love this game.
Sure.
Very, very good friends of mine whose opinions aren't garbage. I think they love it and they like the characters. They like the costumes. Some of them cosplay as these characters. Hey, it's bringing joy to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking fine. And that is a good thing. Get out of my dick hole about it.
Is anybody still in your dick hole?
I don't know. They probably are.
Oh. No.
No, I don't think
No,
they are.
they all stopped commenting on the Genshin Impact
Those
video.
people who saw our video
Yeah.
and didn't know what Rage Select was
Yeah.
and just were like, fuck you, and then ran off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, hey, you
They
know.
didn't even stick around to see how much better I made the channel, after taking their pointed criticism and converting it into feedback for Rage Select. King, this is my website. I'll do whatever the fuck I want to.
I have to say, I also I really can't throw shade at Genshin Impact anymore. I have downloaded so much porn. There's so much Genshin Impact porn.
Genshin Impact?
Oh my god, it's a bunch of fucking anime waifus.
Oh, yeah.
Of course there's a shit ton of porn.
All right.
Man, I've watched a lot of it.
Apparently, in this update, they're going to be putting in player housing as well as some other stuff.
Okay,
so.
hey, you know what? If you people are getting your money's worth for it, and if you're excited, if you're happy with it, that's fine. I'm not a Nazi. Leave me alone. It's late. It is late.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
In other news that I'm sure will make you happy, Sonic Colors might be getting a remaster.
Okay, honestly, Sonic Colors is one of those games that I kind of wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so burned out on Sonic by that point, I didn't want to even bother with it. Is that the one with I'm thinking of Sonic Lost World. Sonic Colors is one of the ones that people were like, this is a good one.
I don't know. They're all Sonic to me.
Let me, oh yeah. No, this is one that people kind of thought pretty highly of.
Okay.
But then Lost World, I think, was the one that people were like, "Oh, this is the good one," and then they forgot about it because they wanted to do Sonic Boom. So there you go.
Well, there's been some listings that have come up for something that is listed as Sonic Colors Ultimate on the PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch with a vague 2021 release date. This is one of those things where it's popped up on some French website listing.
A listing, yeah. And it's I know how it do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also got, this is a very weird thing. There's a possibility that there might be something announced Metal Gear wise in the next week or two. A lot of it came from this Metal Gear official Twitter account,
Metal Gear,
responding to somebody saying, we have visitors coming next week, so finish cleaning the vents and make sure the flags are all hung properly, but don't touch the C4.
All right.
I don't know. This to me seems weird. The person that tweeted at them apparently follows 4 accounts. It's Metal Gear and the Mets and Konami and that's it or something.
It's a whole fucking thing they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I have no opinion on this because the Metal Gear franchise is functionally dead.
The only thing is if Konami was to do the cash-in thing and say we're doing a full 4K remaster of the entire series, including a remake of the first game, I would be more than willing to pay them money for that because
sure.
The only game that doesn't have a remaster is Metal Gear Solid 1.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All the rest of them worked in HD on the PlayStation 3, when they put out the collection. 4 was native HD, 5, was on the later consoles, but 1 still has the fucking polygons vibrating back and forth when people talk, and it's a little silly looking. So, yeah. I would like it if that would happen. Anything else that Konami wants to do, they can fuck off.
Yeah, go away.
They can fuck off. Sell it. Just sell it, man. Sell it to somebody who will actually make games. Like,
don't you know how the entertainment industry works? You sit on something forever.
Make Revengeance 2.
No.
Portable ops for phones.
No.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself. Konami. Wait, Konami makes games?
Yeah. Remember that one we saw earlier?
Yeah.
So Yahoo Answers is getting shut down. I don't know if you've heard this.
Oh, I did hear about that. Which is like, all right.
Somebody has done a silly thing. So apparently, Typing of the Dead on Steam has the ability for Steam Workshop content. Somebody has downloaded the publicly available, that was made available, database of all of the questions that have ever been asked on Yahoo Questions and made a mod to basically fill the Typing of the Dead prompts with the questions asked on Yahoo Questions.
You know, the world is an amazing place sometimes. And being alive is just sometimes fucking incredible.
You are correct, sir. In other silly news.
Oh, really? Even more.
Guess what's on the PC now?
Your mom.
Kingdom Hearts.
What?
Kingdom Hearts.
I didn't know Kingdom Hearts was a game. I'm just kidding. Okay, that's weird.
And do you know what happens when you put games on the PC?
Oh no.
People mod them.
Oh no. There's so many Donalds.
So somebody
Why are there so many Donalds?
Somebody spawned like hundreds of Donald Ducks to the point where whoever's computer it is that was doing this, it can't like keep up with them. Like the frame rate is real low and stuff. So yeah, that was a thing that happened because you got console commands. They even added in some enemies to see if all of the Donalds would destroy them.
I really like those new Mickey Mouse cartoons they have on YouTube. They have this weird, like, they're almost like a Ren and Stimpy style.
Okay.
They're very weird, but they're funny. And Donald is such an acerbic piece of shit in these shorts. I just want that version of Donald in the Kingdom Hearts universe because I think people would like him more because he sucks.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a whole problem with Donald in the Kingdom Hearts universe since he's your mage and he won't really heal you very often.
Yeah, that's right. That's like a recurring complaint people have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, somebody replaced the train in the town in Kingdom Hearts 1 with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Why wouldn't you put Thomas the Tank Engine?
Why would you not?
I'm waiting for them to replace all of Section 13 with Macho Man Randy Savage because
oh yeah,
I would actually play that particular game.
Oh man, Skyrim mods.
Yep.
Remember that?
I do. We're almost done. We have two more stories.
Two more stories.
And maybe one question.
All right, one whole question.
Story number one, I'm sure that Matt has a lot to say about.
All right.
Because I'm sure this isn't the first time that you've seen the $700 self-transforming Optimus Prime robot that accepts voice commands and is a remote control truck that also like raises his hands and says stuff and
okay, mostly it's people keep sending me this or keep tagging me in this. And I'm like, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know. Thank you for your patronage. But it's just like, it is objectively very cool. I'm not spending $700 on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm already like, so I send Jeff Transformers stuff that I find that I know he hasn't seen 1,000 times. Like, they put out a bunch of like movie accurate Transformers the movie figures like of Rodimus, a Hot Rod and Blur and Cup.
Yeah.
And the Quintessons. And that's neat. This is objectively very cool. And I know I'd love to play with one. If I was going to drop $700 on a giant remote control toy, it would be that Mecha Godzilla that came out like 6 years ago that is now $2,000.
It's pretty cool, but I'm with you in that I
got other things to spend money on.
I got a lot of other better things to spend $700 on than an Optimus Prime that I play with for an hour.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, now I guess I own this.
Yeah.
And people be like, oh, is that $700 Optimus Prime with a lot of dust on it? And I'd be like, yeah, do you want to play with it? I can just download the app. I'll give you my Wi-Fi code.
Hold on. It's oh, crap, the batteries are dead.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, isn't that always the thing? Isn't that always the way?
It is for me because
Look at him walk.
because I'm like, because I've been a 40-year-old adult man my entire life. So it's like, or maybe it's the fact that I am a 40-year-old adult man that I know myself well enough now to be like, I know I want this, but I also know that if I was to obtain it, I would fuck around with it for 1 hour. And then it would just be that thing that I have to figure out where it is, and you don't want to move it around. You're going to break it, and maybe I should sell this to somebody else, or like, I mean, I should find like a kid or something to give it to. I mean, I'm never going to fuck with it again. Like,
I feel like I'm finally getting to that point with my collecting, where there are certain things that I'm like, well, this is gonna, like, I do try to get a 6-inch representation of every version of Godzilla because I have like a thing that I'm doing in my studio, and it's like, this makes me happy. This thing right here, this dumb arbitrary thing, well, not arbitrary, but this dumb thing I've decided to do, it makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not going to do is drop $200 on the to-scale Godzilla Earth from the Netflix anime movie that is 2 feet tall, because I don't have anywhere to put that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And last but not least, in the robot story category, I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently Netflix is making a Gundam movie with the guy that directed Kong Skull Island.
Yep.
And Brian K. Vaughan.
Which surprises me, but you know what? I think this has real potential.
Yes.
Jordan Vogt Roberts, I think, is a good director.
Mm-hmm.
I think Skull Island is the best of the MonsterVerse movies, I think. And I know you're kind of on it, but again, but he's also like, he's a fan, but he also knows when to reel it in.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to take stuff from other influences and not just keep circle jerking like King of the Monsters. And then fucking Brian K. Vaughan, like a drama sci-fi comics writer tackling the Gundam universe.
Yeah.
That sounds legitimately fascinating. Now, I did see G-Savior. Did you see G-Savior?
Fuck no.
I saw G-Savior.
No, I'm not going to do that.
It's like
I'm going to die someday. I don't want to waste my time on
Battlestar Galactica, but boring.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think that this it could go either way. It could go either way. It could be really interesting.
It's got more potential than
Death Note.
Well, categorically speaking, as far as I can tell, most live-action adaptations of anime are trash.
Well, they're either trash or they're so far removed,
right?
As like the Attack on Titan live-action movies. I legitimately think those are kind of cool, but they're not the story of the manga or the anime. Mm-hmm. They're a reinterpretation of the events from the anime.
There was one adaptation that I saw that was the best live adaptation of a property, also the best video game movie of all time,
which is
Takeshi Miike's Phoenix Wright movie that is fucking ridiculous.
We still need to do a gigantic ass watch through of Rampage. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
but I still need to see that because Miike, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's making a new Yokai Wars movie.
I mean, I thought the Blade of the Immortal that he did was good.
It was good. There's certain aspects.
Okay.
There's certain aspects of it where I was like, oh my God, this girl, please. Right. But everything else was like that main actor they got to play the what's his name? The main dude. He's amazing.
I just wish like Gundam isn't exactly like difficult. Like Death Note is difficult because it's all just fucking inside two dudes' head. Like the most dramatic scene in all of Death Note is when a guy is doing his homework with one hand and secretly writing names in a bag of chips with a second hand, whilst opera music plays in the background and dramatic cameras swoop around to show it's happening, right?
Yeah.
But like Gundam, for all that it is relatively straightforward. You got the dudes what are in space, you got them space Nazis, you got them dudes that are on Earth, and then like the space dudes don't like the Earth dudes, and then they're coming down, they're kicking the Earth dudes' ass with their space robots. But Earth's got its own robot, and it's super powerful. It's called a Gundam, and only this fucking 8-year-old can drive it. Get in the white base. Let's go fly around and kill some space Nazis.
I have not.
Don't at me about Xeon and space Nazis. All right, just don't even fucking start with me. I don't give a shit.
It's how they're visually coded, you guys. But
I don't give a shit.
I'm admittedly.
Salty late night podcast.
Oh God, yes. I am admittedly very. I have not seen much Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Gundam Wing when it came out.
Boo.
Shut up. I watched. No, it's just like I don't have any other frame of reference.
What
and
was
then I
it?
watched
The Battle Operations 2 thing that you and I recorded.
Oh yeah,
it's like the most popular video that Rage Select has ever done, and has attracted scores of people to tell me how bad I am.
Yeah.
Michael and I did a second one that was like a turn-based Gundam game where I talked about how I didn't like Wing Gundam, and someone came into the comments and called me a Universal Century elitist. As if I would go, how dare you? And I'm like, bitch, I think I said that in the show where I was like, I like UC and I don't like anything else, so go fuck yourself.
And
like,
see,
I'm just a grown up and I like what I like, and I don't want to watch the one where they go to fucking model school and shrink down to get into the Gundams. And I don't want to watch the one with the fucking pretty boys. And I don't want to watch the one that's Street Fighter or the one with the aliens. I want to watch the one with Char and the fucking white base flies up and gun tank is stupid. That's the one I want to watch.
There's a new type somewhere over here.
Yep.
See, now, man, my 3 primary exposures to Gundam have been Gundam Wing, G Gundam, and 08th MS Team.
Mm-hmm.
And of those 3, 08th MS Team is objectively the best, at least subjectively from my perspective. And because
objectively, subjectively,
yes, objectively, boy, that's a Schoolhouse Rock if I ever heard one.
Figuratively literal fact.
And it's just like, because it was the most mature, it was the most cinematic, and G Gundam was just Dragon Ball but with bigger robots.
Mm-hmm.
And that was G Gundam is very silly, and it's made to be silly. Like it's made to be this weird dumb side story. Gundam Wing was an attempt to revitalize the franchise, which it did. And
100%.
And then
if I watched Gundam Wing when I was a fucking child, I would be super into it.
And then I remember when the original Gundam came on Toonami, and I started watching it, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. Not because it's bad, just because there's a
like
quality
70s as fuck.
Well, and you know me, I like stuff from the 70s, but there's a quality to the pacing of it that I wasn't jiving with in my dumb high school brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this has potential. I think this has because Gundam is not as dependent on. I mean, obviously, it's a product of Japanese culture, but I feel like it's not as aggressively dependent on Japanese culture and a Japanese worldview as certain other franchises. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I think it can very much be translated into... there's no reason why anybody has to be any nationality in all of Gundam.
Yeah, and it doesn't even necessarily... it's not like Ultraman, where it's like, this is made from a Japanese worldview with Japanese-styled... outlooks.
Yeah.
Gundam has some of that, but it's not integral to what's happening. You can take the setup and the window dressing of Gundam and kind of put just about any story in there. Sure. It's a war story. There just are robots, and you have a Gundam and some Zakus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
anyway,
we're right on the edge, and so I'm going to say that we're done because I am tired as fuck.
Me too.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I got to get out of your house.
Patreon, no, we don't normally do that at the end of these videos. Matt, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, I appreciate that. You guys can find me over at, you were so tired. You guys can find me over at mattfrankart.net.
I'm still going to drink 6 White Claws and watch anime after
good.
this, though. So.
I would join you for that, but I'm tired too.
Sure.
And fucking what else? Patreon.com/MattFrankArt. I am going to be bringing it back around to Godzilla vs. Kong. I am going to be at Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida, which will be, I think, the second to last weekend. It's like the weekend of May 21st. I will be there. I'm inoculated. You know, the Pensacon is doing its best to try to make things as safe as possible. I'm specifically going because Kaylee Huddle, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She was the little deaf girl in Godzilla vs. Kong. This is going to be her first convention. And
adorables.
I think they live in Kyle.
What? Crazy.
Yeah, I know. And apparently, like, we've sort of been communicating like through her agent, and they're like excited that I'm going and stuff. And like, I'm trying to learn how to say hi, my name is Matt in ASL. So
you should say hi, my name is Slim Shady, because then you can repeat the first part, and then you can be like, the real Slim Shady. Well, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up.
I'm trying to like figure out what the sign is for please stand up.
That's what happens at 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.